news. So before I let y'all go, we're going to get into some breaking news. Y'all, Spirit Airlines said bye-bye. They closed their doors. Let me bring this up. I'm going to share. Let's see. Let me add this to the stage and then, oops, there we go. Yeah, Spirit Airlines, y'all. If y'all are traveling or know somebody who might be traveling, or a lot of people have been affected by this too. So let's listen to.
There was a proposed merger between JetBlue and Spirit, and Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg, along with the Biden DOJ, decided that they did not want that merger to take place. And at the time, the Biden and Buttigieg DOJ bragged and said, as they canceled the option for this merger, that this was a victory for U.S. travelers who deserve lower prices and better choices. And this today would indicate this is not better for travelers. This is not better for pricing. This is not better for competition. Actually, it's worse.
So that was Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy talking about the merger and the fallout of Spirit Airlines shuttering its doors. So let's take a look back at that merger with JetBlue that could have saved Spirit Airlines. You go back to the merger. The merger itself was $1 billion per year in consumer savings, 10,000 new direct jobs by 2026, and 1,000 daily flights to 145 plus destinations. Remember, Spirit, along with JetBlue, are the low-cost airlines, not the big ones like American, United, Southwest, and Delta. So you look back in the history. So in 2023, Biden administration sued to block that nearly $4 billion merger. 2024, the federal judge blocked it. The Biden administration brought that lawsuit. It caused Spirit not once, but twice to file for bankruptcy in 2024, in 2025. Then, of course, what we saw play out yesterday, 277 flights canceled, boom, dropped 17,000 jobs. 17,000 workers are out of a job today, could push fares up by $100. Let's look back at the former Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, who was bragging about shutting that merger down.
The Department of Transportation has generally not gotten involved in these merger cases, but that's changing today. It is so important to make sure that passengers have choices, that they have access to low fares, that they have access to competition.
And with that, Airlines for America works on behalf of airlines to improve travel. President, former New Hampshire governor.
I'm going to pause it right there, y'all, because I should have started with this other video first. Let me do this right here so we can listen to some of the I know this is going to talk, the other video was talking about the merger and everything, so hang on. This gives a little bit more details into the shutdown.
Has officially shut down. The budget airline, recognized by its bright yellow planes and discount fares, said today that all its flights have been canceled. 10 on your sides, Angela Bohan went to Norfolk International Airport today to talk with travelers and get the latest on what you should do if you had plans to fly with Spirit.
Spirit advises travelers not come to the airport because here in Norfolk anyway, this is what you will find. The airline says they can't book you with another carrier, but they will issue you a refund. So certainly this weekend, a lot of travelers nationwide scrambling to rearrange their plans.
I'm not disappointed or shocked, should I say. My luggage got tore up on Spirit. They left me several times. So I hope they close for the better.
No love lost between some travelers and Spirit Airlines, but the news created nearly 280 canceled flights across the nation on Saturday alone, according to FlightAware. Spirit had been struggling since the pandemic. Its president and CEO said they had worked on a restructuring plan, but the rise in fuel prices left them with no alternative. A spokesperson for Norfolk International says it's unfortunate, but one silver lining is that Spirit had only been serving 2 nonstop markets from ORF, those being Fort Lauderdale and Orlando. He says between JetBlue, Breeze, Frontier, and Southwest, local travelers should have plenty of options.
I'm interested to see what they do with it because there's a bunch of planes and there's a bunch of, employees and buildings and stuff.
Spirit employs about 17,000 people. The U.S. Department of Transportation says some carriers are offering preferential job interviews to those affected.
And if you have a voucher with Spirit Airlines, well, it seems you're out of luck with that. But again, if you do have a ticket, you should be able to get a refund. And we do have more information inside our story at wavy.com with a lot of answers to frequently asked questions. At the Norfolk International Airport, Angela Bohan, 10 on your side.
Angela, thank you. And now other airlines are helping travelers who had their tickets with Spirit Airlines. United, Delta, JetBlue, and Southwest have all announced they are capping ticket prices for Spirit flyers who now have to rebook their flights for a certain time period. American and Delta Airlines have also announced reduced fares on Spirit routes that are frequently traveled. More information on these resources can be found over, of course, on wavy.com. And speaking of Norfolk International, there's a road closure that you should know about near that area. Sunday at 2 a.m., Robin Hood Road acts.
I'm not worried about that. I will. Here's a Spirit Airline employee too, because y'all got to look at it. It's affected 17,000 employees. These people don't have a job. You know, that's rough in itself, especially in this economy. And speaking of that too, on the way home this afternoon, when I was coming through town, the gas prices are over $4 a gallon where I'm at. I haven't seen that in years. So let's listen in on this this employee that they got caught. They caught up with this employee, a former Spirit employee.
I'm here with a former Spirit Airlines employee. This is Asia. She was going on 4 years as a flight attendant with the airline. A lot of questions people have had now that this bankruptcy has happened is now that Spirit Airlines is shut down altogether, is what happens to the employees, the pilots, flight attendants, mechanics. So many people, over 17,000 people were employed with the company. One of them right here. So Asia, can you tell me about your experience when you first heard that Spirit Airlines was no more?
When I first heard, my mom actually notified me I was actually asleep. I was sound asleep, and my mom called me. I'm not feeling well, so you can tell I'm a little sick. So I didn't register what she said, and then I had another fellow colleague of mine call me, and she was like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, I know everything's probably canceled." And I'm like, "Cancel? What do you mean?" So I go and I check all my itineraries, and I check my email, and it says like, "Hey guys, this is what we're moving forward. If you are somewhere, this is what we're going to do. This is our procedure. This is our process." And just to be on standby and wait for them to contact us to get us where we got to go. So.
Okay, so you didn't get a prior heads up from Spirit Airlines that they may be shutting down altogether?
Well, so yes, they did keep us informed with emails and just letting us, updating us about those things because, I mean, let's be honest, we get those all over, but they were just more so reassuring us like, "Hey guys, we're going to stand strong with each other. It's better together than without." So yeah, they did. They definitely did.
Okay, very nice. And so now what position? Are you from Houston? Is this your home?
No, not at all. I actually was working a flight yesterday. I did some other things prior to coming to work, and then they pulled me. They're like, "Hey, we actually need you to work this flight Atlanta to Houston." It was going to be a one and done, and then I was supposed to deadhead today, which is basically just ride as a passenger today, later on this evening, and a simple trip. And yesterday was just a regular day. You got up, met my crew. Everyone was like, "Yeah, we've been here." It was nice. It was an easy flight, so I didn't expect this, but yeah, we're here.
So now you're in Houston. What has Spirit said or done to help you get back home to Atlanta?
Oh, so I was waiting by the line, so I waited about till 12 o'clock because I've been up. So about 12 o'clock, I reached out to them, and then I got about like a 10-15 minute wait. They called me back. They were like, "Hey, Mrs. Smith, we want to let you know we are willing to get you back home. Give us 1 second." They operated that within not even 5 minutes. Honestly, she got back with me. I was booked for the next flight. So they've been really, really helpful, very hands-on with like just staying communicating with us.
Okay, very nice.
So at least they're helping their employees get back to where they need to go.
So good to hear that they've
That's only right.
taken care of their employees through this situation. And so what's next for you? I mean, this is your livelihood. You're a flight attendant, and your company that you worked for now doesn't exist. Other airlines have stepped up saying that they'll start interviews. Will you go do any of those interviews, or what's next for you?
So for me, I plan to. This is something I've been doing for 7 years. Spirit was going to kind of be my home base, but now I can just take what I have from Spirit and apply it somewhere else. Hopefully somebody can take a great flight attendant that's looking forward to continue this career.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you started seeing other airlines pop up saying, "Hey, we will start doing interviews with flight attendants and pilots that were working for Spirit," did that give you a little bit of encouragement or confidence moving forward?
It did. It actually gave me more of a cushion because I know during the process because I was also a part of the furlough as well. So being a part of that process as well, it was like, what am I supposed to do? So all the nerves are just like, they may take me, they may not. I don't know what to do. So to see that they're like willing and like, "Hey, we're here if you guys need us. We're going to accept you for how you come." That really means a lot because that's how Spirit takes their employees. That's how they got me.
Yeah. So one more video, y'all. Well, before we get to that last video, because I wanted to show y'all how other airlines are helping out. Now I have seen a lot of posts, a lot of TikToks and Instagram reels about people or about other airlines not assisting like they should as far as getting these people back home, because you got to look at it. Some people were in the middle of their vacations when this shutdown happened. Some people were trying, or they went one place and don't have a way to go back. So a lot of this is affecting a lot of people. And like like the flight attendant said, you know, she's not even near her home. She flew to Houston on that last flight, and they got to get her back home to Atlanta. So it really inconvenienced a lot of people. Roxy is tapping in from our last segment. She said sometimes genetics take a huge factor too, though. I have 2 cousins that were on dialysis and received transplants, and no matter what they did, it was all genetics for them. I want to tap in on that too. As far as genetics go, Roxy, you're right about that. Miles said, I flew Spirit once. Hey, fly budget, stay luxury. That's, you know, I'm a Delta girl. I'll fly Delta. I'll check Delta Flirt first before I check anybody else. I'm gonna check Delta first. And Too Deep says, so I got stock in United. Come to United, people. I flew United. I've flown every other airline, I think, major airline. I haven't flown JetBlue or Frontier, but every other major airline, Delta, United, Continental when they were around. Is Continental still around? Continental, American, did I say American? Finally flew Southwest back in February for the first time. Yeah, so Rumpelstiltskin. Spirit has been teetering for years. Balance sheet was weak and margins in the industry are always lean. Welcome in. I appreciate your comment. Make sure you subscribe. I bring the weekly rain report to you every week. This is the 2nd week for this, but I plan on doing it every Sunday from now on. Tristan is in the building. Hey, Tristan, I appreciate you being here. He said, what up, softy? Rumpelstiltskin said gas prices likely to peak next month or early July. Current futures contracts are expecting 105 per barrel. Then S. Okay. Is it like, what is it now? What's the oil prices now per barrel? Isn't it like 126? Tristan said, what up, y'all? Miles said, I have to buy premium, pay $40 for just over 6 gallons. My car, I'm thankful it takes 89. Isn't it 89? Something like that. Rumpelstiltskin said, what you driving, Miles? An Infiniti V8. Yeah, you got to use that good gas in that one. Nice, but ouch. Prices should come down midsummer. I believe so. And Sudeep said, my Glamour and Breezy Fund is open on Cash App. I am not fully monetized here on YouTube. So if you would like to donate and be generous, you can hit my Cash App. It's Soft Rain, RSCREIGN. Soft Rain, REIGN. I appreciate y'all. Tristan said, Spirit is a little too ghetto. I can't do it. Classic said, who told them it was genetic? Do they stand to profit off their illness? Classic. You know what? We should bring this in, Classic. Put it on a notepad. Talk about genetics and whatnot. That would be a good show to talk about genetics and what we bring. So this is I'm gonna play this last video for Spirit. This is how the other airlines are going to be helping out. So play this last video and then I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight though. If y'all are in here for the first time, and make sure you like this stream, of course, make sure you share it with somebody who might need it. And most importantly, Rumpelstiltskin, since you've been commenting, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. At the end, I'll go through all the shows that I'm a part of, the coalition and all that.
Breaking news this morning, Spirit Airlines has shut down its operations, and it is urging passengers not to go to the airport if you have a Spirit flight today. We know a lot of you may have immediate travel plans, so other airlines are stepping in to help Spirit customers. That includes Southwest, American, Frontier, and JetBlue Airlines. All of them are offering rescue fares. Spirit Airlines has been around for more than 3 decades, and this shutdown is effective immediately. The company tried to make a deal with the federal government to stay open after years of financial struggles, but it was not enough. The airline's president and CEO, Dave Davis, shared this statement overnight, saying in part, for more than 30 years, Spirit Airlines has played a pioneering role in making travel more accessible and bringing together people while driving affordability across the industry. He goes on to say, quote, I want to thank the Trump administration for their extraordinary efforts to try to preserve jobs and service across the country. Now, flights for Spirit Airlines stopped around 2 a.m. local time this morning, stranding thousands of passengers across the country. Here's ABC's Michelle Franzen.
After 3 decades in the skies, Spirit Airlines is shutting down, ceasing operations for good, forcing passengers flying in the coming days to scramble.
I'm actually shocked. So at this point, I don't know what to do at this point.
Spirit Airlines had been seeking about $500 million in federal aid in exchange for giving the U.S. government a majority stake in the company, but the two sides unable to reach a deal. Spirit helped define the era of no-frills air travel, ultra-low base fares with fees for nearly everything else, from bags to seats to snacks, a model that's spread across the industry. But the bargain carrier buckling under years of pressure. First, the COVID pandemic, then competition from larger airlines, and most recently, surging fuel costs, more than doubling, pushing Spirit to the edge and now out of the sky.
I hope the prices aren't too much higher, whoever else I have to fly with.
For passengers seeking refunds, the airline says tickets bought directly with a credit or debit card will be returned to the original form of payment. Those who booked through a travel agent are being told to contact that company directly. But for customers who used vouchers, credits, or loyalty points, any potential reimbursement will be decided later through the bankruptcy process. The company has also set up a website with more details about the shutdown and next steps for travelers. Meanwhile, the airline says it will try to avoid any mid-air disruptions, ensuring flights already en route can continue to their destinations. Planes that have just taken off, however, could be turned back to their departure airports.
Oh, wow, wait.
Michelle Franzen, ABC.
That's tough. So if I'm in the middle of a flight, you're not even going to go to the destination? You're going to turn around and go back? I wonder if that happened to anybody.
News, New York.
And for Spirit customers, if your flight was canceled or impacted by this, you can contact the airline's claims agent, Epic, by calling 85.
But how does that work, y'all? That is crazy. So if I'm on a flight and you would think they would be more organized in how they shut it down. I guess they don't care because they are being shut down. Because wow, that's wild, y'all. Wait.
952-6606, or you can email them at spiritairlineinfo@epicglobal.com. Again, that number and email, it is on your screen. We'll bring it up throughout the show for you. Airlines based in North Texas are now stepping up to help passengers impacted by the Spirit shutdown. Dallas-based Southwest says people with Spirit reservations can access special fares at Southwest ticket counters through Wednesday, May 6th. That includes both domestic and international trips. American Airlines is also joining in. The Fort Worth-based carrier services 67 of the routes Spirit was operating. It says it's also working to provide transportation to Spirit employees who have been displaced during a work trip and will hold job recruiting events for anyone considering to work at their airlines. Meantime, Frontier is offering 50% off fares for flights through November 19th. Use the code SAVE-NOW when you book online through their app. Today's announcement is expected to impact DFW Airport. Spirit flew out of Terminal E and accounted for more than 1 million passengers in the last fiscal year, ending in September. At DFW, Spirit was the 4th largest carrier behind American Airlines, Frontier, and Delta. It also ranked as the airport's 6th largest customer, generating about $15 million in revenue during that same time period. This comes as the summer travel season kicks off later this month, and experts predict travel demand to be high despite rising costs. Recent trends show more than half of Americans are choosing to fly to their destinations this summer. We're going to continue to bring you the latest on Spirit Airlines.
That's crazy, y'all. Having a turnaround, I still can't get over that. Having a turnaround mid-flight because the airline shut down. You would think they would have did it in a more organized fashion. Like after this time, all flights after this time are canceled. The flight ends and then it cancels. Everything after that is canceled. Roxy said multiple doctors and specialists, one had just passed this November. My condolences, Roxy. Sko said, yes, it's been cancellations all weekend. I bet it's been crazy at the airport for y'all. Miles said, that's crazy and dangerous. At least finish the flight. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's wild. And then you're leaving your employees, not necessarily, I guess, stranded, essentially. That is crazy. Rumpelstiltskin said, I flew from Boston to Islip, New York once in a Twin Otter. Smelled like a gas can and shook more than Chubby Checker. Rigid. Welcome in, Rigid. I'm glad that you're here. You came in on the last little bit, but I'm glad you're here. Make sure you watch the rewatch to catch the rest of the news stories that I brought. Rigid said the change in laws to charge rappers for what they say in songs is wild. Huh? Where'd that come from, Richard? Tristan said, now that's some good ish. They basically telling folks to go figure. Right. Like, y'all, we're closed now. Y'all figure it out. I mean, that is wild. That is beyond, to me, it's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. I appreciate y'all rocking with me though.